And I'm going to be doing more predictions like I did back in week 1. And we're going to start out on a Thursday night football game. The Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. This is going to be a great game. The Ravens coming off of a blowout win against the Bills, and the Bengals coming off of a huge fourth quarter comeback against the Colts. Both are pretty decent teams, but they played bad teams in my opinion. Bills are one of the worst, and Colts are not very good either. And the Bengals have a lot of starters and players injured. And same with the Ravens. They have quite a bit of players injured and missing this game as well. But I'm not really sure who to take in this game, because I really want to say the Ravens, but they did play a horrible team in the Bills, and that's just hard to evaluate. And it's hard to evaluate off of one game itself, let alone playing one of the worst teams in the league. But just because of the overall talent and because Joe Flacco has more weapons surrounding him, I'm going to be picking the Ravens in this one. And I had the Chargers as one of the top teams in the NFL this year if they could stay healthy, because last year they had a lot of injury problems, and this year it's looking like the same thing. Hunter Henry, nearly a season-ending injury, might come back week 16 or 17. Wide receiver Artavis Scott is out. Jalen Watkins, a cornerback, has a torn ACL. A tight end Austin Roberts is out. Jason Verrett, their cornerback, has a season-ending injury. Joey Bosa will be missing this game. Corey Luigit will be missing this game. And there is a couple more doubtfuls and questionables. It's just crazy how much the Chargers get hurt. But I still have them as the better team than Buffalo, so I'm, of course, going to be choosing the Chargers in this one. Not really sure what to think of this game. Both teams have pretty good offenses, especially the Falcons. I really like their offense and the depth they have at every position. And out of the last 5 matchups, the Falcons have won 4 of them. They're 4-1 in the last 5, and in the all-time series, they're 28-18. The Falcons lead it. So really not sure what to think of this. They have been very close matchups, especially the last 2. On November 5th of 2017, Carolina ended up winning 20-17, and then on December 31st of 2017, Atlanta won 22-10. And where each team ranks, Carolina only allowed 8 points, while Atlanta allowed 18 in the first game, but Atlanta also played the Eagles, who are a top team in the NFC. So I'm going to have to go with Atlanta in this one. It'll be a very good game, a nice NFC East rivalry game, and the Cowboys have a lot of injuries. 2 of their star defensive ends are going to be most likely missing. Their Pro Bowl All-Pro center is going to be missing. Dak Prescott got hurt last game. Their offense was horrible last game. The Giants' defense actually performed pretty okay, and their offense played way better than I thought it would, so I'm going with the Giants in this one. Broncos, who have a great defense and an improved offense from last year, against a Raiders team who is struggling on both sides of the ball. Their defense wasn't horrible, but you lost the best player, possibly the best player in the, best defensive player in the NFL, and you just can't come back from that, especially without replacing him. And your offense mightily struggling. Derek Carr had a horrible game, and the running game didn't really impress me either. So I'm choosing Denver for this one. It's going to be a very interesting one. In the last 5 meetings, the Vikings have won 4 of them. Yeah, it's been disastrous for Green Bay. And the Vikings aren't messing around. They got Kirk Cousins, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, added to their very talented team. And Aaron Rodgers has a sprained knee, and that's hard to come back from. Their defense is a lot better than last year, but it's still not very good. and their running game was horrible. Well, their running game was pretty bad last week against the Bears, and their offensive line was horrible. The receivers played very well. The backup quarterback, Deshaun Kaiser, is a disaster. He is worse than Brett Hundley, which I called, by the way. Don't mean to brag. I have to go with Minnesota in this one. I don't know. It's just not that close. The best defense in the NFL with an even better offense than last year. You have a better quarterback. Your running backs are the same. Your receivers are the same. Your offensive line is about the same. And still the best defense in the NFL. I have to choose Minnesota over my own Packers. Last year's conference championship game, the Jaguars had won in my opinion, but the refs, called it for New England. Just my opinion. Just had to put it out there. But in this game, I have to go with New England. Their offense is looking really strong. They did almost blow it against the Texans, though. I'm not really sure what to think of this game. The Jaguars have the second best defense in the NFL, and this Patriots team is nothing to joke about. Still, even though they did lose quite a bit of talent, they're still probably the best team in the NFL. Rob Gronkowski had a monstrous week 1. Tom Brady played amazing like usual. Rex Burkhead played pretty good. And then Blake Bortles, is himself. And with Leonard Fournette leaving week 1, I'm not sure if he's coming back for week 2. He's a probable. And if he misses this game against the Patriots, it's for sure going to be a loss. So, just going to consider injuries, I'm going to have to go with New England in this one. This is going to be a very interesting game. The Cleveland Browns are a very much improved team. They are really good. I feel like they have a chance to be a playoff team finally. And they're playing one of the best teams in the NFC, the New Orleans Saints. This is going to be a really hard one to choose from. The Saints defense played pretty bad in week 1, allowing Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Buccaneers to beat them in overtime in a shootout game. And the Browns defense played amazing against the Steelers. So I'm not really sure who to choose here. You have a couple injuries on each side, but in my opinion, the Saints are hit the hardest. Mark Ingram's going to be out. Ricky Jefferson, Travin Durrell are going to be out. Teron Armstead and Ted Ginn are questionable. Andres Pete is questionable, and Michael Thomas is probable. Very huge injuries there. 2 of your star offensive tackles with your star wide receiver are questionables and probables. And then your running back, Mark Ingram, is out. They still do have Alvin Kamara, so they don't have to worry about the run game. And the Browns don't really have much injuries to be worried about. And I'm not really sure who to choose in this one. I guess I'm going to have to go with the safe pick and say the New Orleans Saints, just because it's a home game for them, and I feel like they're the better team. Improved team. Sam Darnold playing a lot better than I expected him to. He has a very good team surrounding him. Wide receivers, Robbie Anderson, Quincy Enunwa, Isaiah Crowell, and Bilo Powell at running back. But this Dolphins team isn't really a joke either. They're a mediocre team with Tannehill at quarterback. They have Kenny Stills at wideout, who had a breakout week 1 performance. They added Frank Gore at running back, and he can still contribute to a team. The Jets' defense is just too powerful, in my opinion, so I have the Jets taking this one with a win. A blowout game, in my opinion. Maybe not a blowout, but this is going to be an easy prediction for me. The Titans just had so many injuries in week 1, and we don't know if some of their players are going to be even playing. We know Jack Conklin, one of their starting offensive tackles, is going to be out, and he will be returning week 4. Their star offensive tackle, Taylor Lewan, most likely won't be in this game. He could come in, but I don't know if he will. Jonathan Cyprin is out. Michael Campanaro is out. Delaney Walker is out. Marcus Mariota left in week 1, and he might be able to play. Derek Morgan got injured. Harold Landry and Rashaan Evans. Adoree Jackson and Corey Davis all getting injured. That is huge for the Titans. That is some of their main contributors. While the Texans have some big injuries like Kevin Johnson, Dante Foreman, and Andre Howell, that really isn't as big as these guys. I guess Clowney and Kiki Cudi, Christian Covington, and DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller. Deshaun Watson had a concussion, but those guys, in my opinion, are probably going to be playing this game more than the Titans players. And even with those losses, the Texans still have the better team, and I'm choosing Houston in this one. Prediction, in my opinion, because the Steelers, they're injury riddled right now. They are just all messed up. Le'Veon Bell is holding out. They just have no chemistry. No one is communicating very good. They're getting injured everywhere. And the Chiefs are playing very good. Patrick Mahomes had an amazing week 1. Same with Tyreek Hill. And their defense didn't play bad either. So I'm picking the Chiefs in this one. Played amazing. They played up to my expectations. While the Cardinals really played bad. I expected the Cardinals to play really good. They got a new quarterback. Their defense, they did lose a lot of talent on defense, but it still looks solid with Chandler Jones and Peterson. But the Cardinals failed. Their offense couldn't do anything. And the Rams, well, they're just an amazing team. So I have to pick the Rams in this one. The Lions offense just played god-awful in week 1. Their running game couldn't get established. Matthew Stafford was throwing picks left and right. The receivers kept dropping passes. Line couldn't really block very well. And the 49ers, they didn't really have much problems. They played the Vikings, which is, well, one of the best teams in the NFL. So can't give this young 49ers team much flack. They're missing quite a bit of talent. Their new starting running back out for the season with a torn ACL. Reuben Foster is on suspension. And a couple other of their starters are injured as well. So I have to pick the 49ers. I feel like they are just a better team right now at this moment in time. Maybe the Lions will prove me wrong. Let's see. This is going to be a great game. The Buccaneers, a very improved team from last year. They played amazing in week 1, but some of that was due to the Saints' lack of defense. I'm not really sure how to put it. Buccaneers played amazing, but the Saints' defense also played underwhelming to their expectations. The Eagles played okay. I actually thought the Eagles would play a little better in week 1, but they did play the Falcons, and that was a hard matchup. Two of the best teams going head-to-head. And this is going to be a great game. The Buccaneers, a very improved team. They're young, they're talented. They do have some injuries, though. So, I'm going to have to pick the Eagles. The Eagles have a lot of injuries as well. Probably more injuries. No, they do have more injuries. But the Eagles are just so deep at every position, it doesn't matter for them. I have to go with Philly in this one. This is going to be a very good game. The Colts, Andrew Luck is back. But the Redskins, new quarterback in Alex Smith, a proven veteran who was pretty damn good. And then they added Adrian Peterson. A lot of people did not believe in Peterson. But guess what? He is back, having an amazing week 1 performance. And I can't lie. Washington's defense was really good in week 1. Same with their offense. I have to go with Washington in this one. The Colts are going to be pretty dangerous. You know, they're going to be they're going to cause some upsets in a couple games, but I just can't see in this one. The Redskins, Alex Smith and Adrian Peterson, the veteran duo, are going to go at it again, and they're going to pick up another win for Washington. Both teams start out 0-1. This is going to be a very good game. Russell Wilson, one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, going up against Chicago, a young team that has improved a lot. The defense of Chicago is so good this year. They nearly beat the Packers. They couldn't quite hold Green Bay off, though, as Green Bay came back and beat them, but not going to talk too much about that. Chicago's offense has improved greatly. They got some new weapons at wideout for a young quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky. They got a running back duo in Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard, which is very dangerous. And their defense is a top 10 defense in the NFL easily. While the Seahawks, their defense has dropped off dramatically. Their running game is horrible, and their offensive line can't block to save their lives. So, this is an easy prediction for me. The Bears should win this game.